Hello, guys. Welcome to the first power rankings of the SBT Season 4. We're going to be going over C League, and we're joined here today by myself, Mams. We have Gene. He can say hi.
What up?
We
What
have
up?
Swampy here as well.
Yo.
And we have Tyler, the Canadian kid, the owner and the creator of SBT League.
What's up, guys?
Yeah. All right, so we have the power rankings as you can see in front of us. And we're going to go over the bottom teams first. And we're going to try to go in depth with why we made our decisions there. Obviously, we had our different rankings for each team, but this is just a definitive list as to the rankings of C League. So I guess we can start us off with the Cleveland Charizards. We have Griffin, right?
Yeah.
Does anyone want to go first? Why do we have Griffin so low on these rankings? Number 12.
Well, his team, just looking at it, had so many glaring weaknesses that he just lacked like so many things. He has no core basically, and like Mega Camera Up. I'm just gonna say this: Mega Camera Up is terrible. Don't draft that one.
Mega Camel, it's a nice wall breaker, but at the same time it needs Trick Room support, which he does have. He has Trick Room support.
He has Bronzong and Cresselia.
Yeah. But if he's only going to be bringing Bronzong and Mega Camel, that's going to be very obvious, and people are going to be able to prep for that pretty easily.
Well,
And
another thing is he has Bronzong Cresselia for, I guess, Trick Room, but then he has Excadrill and Gigalith for Sand. Like, I don't know what he's trying.
Well, he has Stoutland as well for Sand.
Yeah.
His team is really counterintuitive because he's got the Sand Core that gets a boost of speed whenever Sand is active, and then he gets Trick Room that just goes against it.
Well, I mean, he could bring either one, right? But at the same time, he has Mega Camel, which is 4 times weak to water, and then he has Excadrill, which is weak to water, Volcarona, which is weak to water, Crocodile, which is weak to water, Gigalith, which is weak to water. It seems to me like he needs some kind of switch into
like
he has Rotom Wash.
He has Rotom Wash.
Yeah.
But
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's gonna be taking hits, but at the same time, it's not gonna be taking every single hit. Like once Rotom Wash goes down, like a sit up a Manaphy can pretty much win the game.
Yeah, water type with coverage.
Once he loses Rotom, like any bulky water basically just kind of wins. So
I mean, yeah, he's missing a couple of typings to kind of complete his cores, obviously. What do you think of his speed tiers, though? He obviously has Sand, but he doesn't really look like he has anything faster than...
He has one base 100, and everything else is slower than that.
Yeah.
Because he has Sand, then you look at it.
And then he has Trick Room.
He has a Trick Room team.
Yeah.
So what's the direction with the team?
Right.
I mean, he has 2 Intimidate users, which is fine. He has good walls.
Yeah, he has the bulk. He has
good offensive pressure, but I don't know,
he has setup sweepers, but where's his wall breakers? Like, you don't see a fighting type. How does he beat Umbreon? Like a physically defensive Umbreon.
Yeah.
So
exactly. I mean,
yeah.
Volcarona,
but
Volcarona's there, for sure.
Yeah, and I guess Clefable, but
Clefable could be there.
You'd have like you said, which is kind of pushing it.
Like you said, his cores are incomplete. He has no grass type, and he has no dragon type.
Yeah,
and
that's the other thing.
His skill types are not the best. I would say. I mean, Excadrill's not bad, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, he also has 3 ground types.
There's also that,
of.
yeah. Again, it's
Yeah.
just that you could see some glaring weaknesses. At the same time, you can see his strategy coming into a match as well, which isn't the best. You kind of want to keep your strategies kind of.
Well, you know it's coming. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, yeah,
in draft,
exactly. If you know what's
a part of
coming,
draft league
it's easy to prepare
is
for, right? So
yeah, a part of draft league is the
Yeah.
unpredictability of what you're going to bring, right?
yeah.
But to me, with this
Right.
team, it's easy to counter and just prep
Hmm.
against it.
Like to
Yeah.
me, when do you ever think he's gonna bring that Snorlax? Like Snorlax, yes, it's nice, it can set up and sweep, but um, does
He
it
doesn't
really
have
fit? Like, I mean,
Well, it goes to the same thing as a trick room, so that's nice.
I
You
guess
can set
so.
up
Yeah.
trick room, and
Yeah. The problem is that's another thing too. Is she has Gigalith, Snorlax, Crocodile, and Stoutland, and Excadrill, which are
Yeah.
all weak to fighting.
Yeah.
So,
He has a lot of
so
weaknesses to fighting there. I mean, he does have Cresselia, which is the wall to fighting, but if he gets whittled down, if that Cresselia dies, Clefable's also there, I guess. So he does have some answers. He does have some switch-ins to fighting, but Cresselia and Clefable are always going to be in that defensive role. They're never going to be calm mind or offensive. They're going to be defensive. Um, in draft league, you
right,
kind of want to be, you know, variant of what you're bringing, what sets you're bringing. So.
yeah,
yeah,
All right. Okay, so I guess we went over Griffin's team for the most part there. It's a shame we had him dead last. Like it's not the most like horrible team we've ever seen, but
yeah,
it definitely
yeah,
has
and
some weaknesses. So.
yeah, and I'll say this: I have seen Griffin draft better than this
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, so I know he can do better.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But
Griffin himself again. This analysis, guys. This isn't supposed to be thrashing the player itself.
no,
We're really just going over their draft and the Pokemon that they have on their team. So
yeah,
all right, so that's it for Griffin. Do we want to go to our number 11? We have Godzilla, the Melbourne
yep,
Marowaks.
yep. He actually messaged me during the draft, I think it was,
Yeah.
and he was asking for advice on if he felt like he needed to make some changes and he wasn't sure what to change. And I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning for me, so I wasn't giving him the answers that I probably should have been giving him. But he did. I noticed that he did make some changes
Yeah, he did.
after the
He did
draft.
drop a couple of mons and picked them up. So
Yeah,
I believe he also messaged me as well, just for a bit of advice. And it did look like he got rid of his steel type, unfortunately.
yeah.
Um,
He traded it for Hydreigon, which he kind of needed a Dragon type,
he
but
did need one, but at the same time, losing your steel type, and his steel type was stack attack, so it's not the bulkiest steel. It's bulky, but it has 2 4 times weaknesses, which doesn't make it ultimately too
yeah,
bulky. Um,
right.
but looking at his team right now, he has Tapu Bulu and Halucha, very nice offensive
Uh huh.
presence there, right? Halucha
Yep,
obviously can be a nice cleaner in the late game. He
for
has
sure.
he has some very nice wall breakers, Mega Pinsir, Hydreigon. Um,
Yeah. The thing for me that I had to rank his team so low, like the biggest thing for me was how weak his team is to rocks and how he just doesn't have anything to clear them.
yeah, that was the other thing is that he has a Mega Pinsir, and you need a defogger or a rapid spinner to kind of make sure Mega Pinsir
Yeah,
doesn't always take 50% coming in every single
yeah,
time.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
and when you look at his draft, Venomoth does get defog, I believe. Um,
But is it
Halucha gets
Venomoth?
defog, I think.
Is Venomoth bug poison or bug flying? I always
It's
forget.
bug poison.
Okay.
I think it gets it. Hydreigon also gets defog, but I mean, for the most part, you don't want Hydreigon to always be in that defensive role. It can be defensive, but
well, I mean, if you look up and down his roster, he has Venomoth that's a bug type, Pinsir that's bug flying, Hawlucha is a flying type, Digivolt's a bug type, and Lapras is ice type. His rock weakness is just so massive.
he does have a decent amount of
no way to get rid of it.
Yeah, it's a shame for like hazards are really going to stack up on him. Obviously, he has 3 poison types, which means that does he have 3 or does he only have the 2? No, he has 3, which means
Yes.
T spikes. It's not going to hurt him too much. But setting up spikes and rocks are really going to hurt him, especially if he wants to clean up with Pinsir in the late game.
Like
I just checked also, and Venomoth and Hawlucha both get defog.
Yeah, they both get defog. Yeah, I figured. But
it's just his team just like dies to Edgequake.
Yeah, Edgequake as well is also a big thing. It's something that you have to take note of because he doesn't have the bulkiest ground. Like he has Nidoqueen, which is a decent ground type. Obviously, it doesn't get reliable recovery, but it can take stone edges. It can't take earthquakes though. So.
Well, like honestly, the second Bulu goes down, his team just straight up dies to a Terrakion.
Yeah, that too, right?
Yeah.
He does have
the way,
nothing. Like he doesn't even have a steel type to counter Terrakion. So as soon as that Bulu goes down, Terrakion is just going nuts on
a steel type is very important on a draft. I feel like it's one of the most important things that you need for your core.
It's probably the most important typing in draft.
But
yeah,
how me and Eagle were rating teams was like we first started out with the cores, right? So Dragon, Fairy, Steel.
Mm-hmm.
And right now there's pretty much only a dragon.
There's a dragon. Bulu is a fairy kind of. Like it's a.
See, if Bulu got play rough, I think people would accept it more as a fairy type.
Yeah.
And then we check
that you have to rely on nature's madness.
I feel like Bulu isn't really a fairy type just because it's so physically offensive
and then it has
doesn't get used often.
If you look at it though, he did cover Bulu's poison weakness pretty well with the 3 poison types that he has. So I mean that's.
Then after that, we check fire, water, grass, which has 1 water.
He has Lapras. Yeah, it's not the best water either.
Fire, grass.
No.
So
because a nice water is always nice to have a nice water with.
Water is amazing to have on your team.
And he doesn't have a fire type.
He doesn't know.
It doesn't have a fire. Well, he has a grass type in Bulu.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then we check electric ground, which he has discovered.
Yeah.
All right.
And then psychic, dark, and fighting. He has
a nice knockoff.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a knockoff. Well, maybe he does, but fag or stuff like that.
No.
I think
he has
Pinsir.
He has a Alolan Muck.
Yeah.
Does Pinsir get knockoff?
No.
No.
So.
Okay.
No. His knockoff user is a Alolan Muck.
Yeah, his Muck is.
And he does have a ghost type too with Cofagrigus.
Oh, Cofagrigus I think gets knockoff. So
yeah, Kofag gets knockoff. You got Mucky got knockoff.
Yeah.
So.
Volt turn. He's got a Raichu and Vikavolt or whatever you want.
Hawlucha also gets U-turn.
But it's not too bad. But then you look at hazard and hazard control. Like Swampy said, he has barely none.
Yeah. Once again, his hazard control is Hydreigon, Defog, Hawlucha, Defog, Venomoth, Defog, and they're not the most
much how
reliable.
We were judging our teams, and if you look at his speed tiers are all right.
I mean, he doesn't have anything faster than Alolan Raichu, unless you count Hawlucha with Unburdened.
Yeah.
Doesn't Hawlucha outspeed Raichu?
Yeah, Hawlucha does.
Wait. Yeah, it does. That's right. Yeah. But usually people usually don't run max speed on it.
Sometimes you don't because of the on-burn boost, yeah.
Right. I think last season because I had Coco Lucha last season, and there was sometimes where I ran 0 speed because
because
don't
You'd
need it.
rather have that
yeah,
bulk.
sometimes you
Yeah.
don't need it, right? And then you just add bulk. So there's potential there. Send in Bulu afterwards. Bring in Halucha and then set up for the sweep there. But Halucha needs a lot of support in order to win. Like if you're facing a Cresselia, Halucha's not going to be able to beat that thing by itself. So I guess that's why
No.
he has two dark types, which is nice. So
Yeah.
it beats the
Thing is,
psychic
with a mon like
types.
Cresselia, you just need a designated check for it all the time.
Yeah, and Hydreigon, Muck, even Pinsir, I guess. Like
Oh, he has the
Pinsir.
Mega Horn on Bulu as well.
I just already know that Stumbles is gonna let a comment go for that exact comment about a
Well,
Cresselia
see,
not
here's
beating.
here's the biggest weaknesses his team have. Obviously, is the hazard control. He's incredibly weak to ground and fire,
Yeah,
and
Fire's a big one.
Well, ground,
and
not so much. He has
He can get
Pinsir,
around the
He-
ground
Hydreigon,
type weakness.
Alucha, Bulu.
yeah,
Obviously, he has the Bulu.
He has two
right.
levitators, so
Uh,
it's not the worst. And
yeah.
Bulu is a nice check to ground types, but again, like he has some poison types, and he has a Raichu there, so
Yeah, but I think the biggest one though would be fire because
yeah, he
he's
has
got like four mons weak to fire, and there's really no way to just
He doesn't have that bulky water type. He has
yeah
Lapras, but
yeah
Lapras
Lapras is
neutral
part
doesn't
against it.
resist.
Lapras is part ice, so
And then
yeah,
Hydreigon is his best bet to kind of take on fire types, but
yeah,
Hydreigon
Don't
doesn't
really
want to
want
take
that. Yeah.
multiple hits. It does get roost. It can be bulky, but you don't want Hydreigon to always be bulky. You want him to be a wall breaker in some cases. So
Especially in open Z format, you don't want that at all.
exactly, yeah,
oh yeah,
That's another thing. Z users,
yeah.
Hydreigon.
Hydreigon
What
would
else?
be a nice one, and
But what else? You see,
Yep.
like he has none
Bulu
really.
can be one. Bulu does get
Yeah,
Stone Edge and stuff. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, he just doesn't have one. I guess if he wanted to try to run like I don't know, like Z card bag, maybe I don't know.
Z Vikavolt
Um,
can be something.
yeah, Megavolt, you slap a Z crystal on that thing,
It could do
do
some work,
something.
yeah.
It
If
could be.
Yeah. It's just about him kind of positioning and setting up. That's the whole thing. He doesn't have immediate power, so
Yeah,
um, that's another thing. If he loses too much momentum, he's not going to be able to get into that position where he's able to bring in Mega Pinsir or he's able to just get in Hydreigon for free. So even Venomoth needs a couple Quiver Dances up before it actually starts sweeping itself. So.
yeah.
All right.
So I think we went over Godzera's team in depth. We can go on to the number 10 team. We have Piran and his St. Louis Scissors.
Yeah.
But we go over why we have him at number 10 here.
To be honest, I don't know why we haven't that, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
I ranked him at 9. So it's pretty close to where he ended up.
Yeah.
My list was
because you
list.
look what these dragons steal fairy core, right? Mega Scizor,
Well,
Togekiss,
The
Noivern.
thing that got me was the Turtonator pick.
The Turtonator
that's not the best
is interesting.
dragon.
I
type.
don't know what he was doing there, but
He has Incineroar for a fire type as well, but maybe he just wanted to try Turtonator, Maybe he didn't want anything else. Like he has
Fire,
Noivern
Water,
for a dragon type.
Grass. Fire, Water, Grass is nice with Incineroar, Manaphy, Toxapex.
He didn't.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't need the typing in Turtonator. He already had
no,
Incineroar.
I noticed that looking at his team, he doubles up on a lot of types.
I think it was just for the dragon mostly, but
Yeah. Like
I mean, because he had Noivern already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, the
He's got
good.
a
About to be a
fantastic.
very happy guy.
I think the good thing about him doubling up on some typings, like he has Manaphy and Toxapex. Manaphy can always be.
They don't do the same job at all. Like,
yeah, and then Manaphy can always be offensive if he wants to bring Toxapex. Toxapex can be defensive. Manaphy can be offensive. So.
Like we also have a fantastic electric ground combo.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a nice dark type Incineroar.
Exactly. Yeah.
You have good power. You have good set up sweepers.
I do see a bit of a ground weakness there. He has Raikou,
Yeah,
Incineroar,
Yeah, a
Turtonator,
little bit, a
Pex,
little bit.
but
yeah,
he can cover those. Mega Scizor is very bulky on the physical side. He has Togekiss, which can heal up. You know.
yeah.
Um,
The thing for me was his team kind of lacks like that just straight up power, like right out the gate.
yeah.
Like he really has to set up to really do any serious
Manaphy
damage
has to
with
set
this
up.
team.
Yeah.
Manaphy is very bulky though, can easily set up. Scizor, I've noticed if it's your only steel type, it's gonna be put in that defensive role a lot. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna be there to take hits. If he can try to get up a Swords Dance, yes, it'll do work, but in this format when everything is gonna cover like his typing with HP Fire, it's kind of hard to set up Scizor if if everything's having HP Fire on it. But
yep.
I don't know. His team isn't really weak to fire for the most part, so I don't know. Perrin's team is pretty nice. We have him at number
Then you
10.
have
It's probably because there are other teams that are just a bit better than his. But
Yeah.
in no way is his team that bad. He has his
the only
type
other thing I can
cores.
see is he doesn't have many. Like he has the toxic spikes with Toxapex. He got the rocks with
Hazards.
Donphan.
He has Donphan, yeah. Um,
He has good hazard removal. I will say
He has
that.
good removal,
he
but
has he
hazards
has Tokiss,
themselves,
Decidueye, Scizor, Noivern, Donphan. They can all remove hazards, yeah. But is his team really weak to hazards, first of all? Like I guess he has two fire types and a flying type. Or no, he has two flying types.
not really.
Yeah. He's not. It's not. It's not a big problem.
For hazards, just Don's fan comes in and spins them off or
Yeah.
Yeah.
whatever.
T-Spikes, Toxapex comes in and absorbs them. So
Yeah. So hazards aren't an issue for this team.
Other thing I can see maybe is other than Scizor and Toxapex, he doesn't take many hits. Maybe Incineroar takes hits as well, but
yeah. Togekiss can kind of take hits, but in most cases, it's kind of hard for Togekiss to do that when it has to face like a gigantic core of like some big steel type.
Yeah.
So
Donphan is decent at taking hits. It just doesn't have any viable recovery.
yeah,
he takes physical hits, but
it takes
special
physical
attacks.
hits.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
can be a threat too if
Yeah,
it
hits
needs
hard
to be.
too.
Because with him being able to take hits, if it sets up a rock polish or something, like people don't really run the offensive Donphan set, but it can be run.
The only
Yeah.
thing is he pretty much has to bring rocks with every time he comes out.
Yeah, he doesn't have rocks on anything else really, but that's the
Does
other
that-
thing. Like,
Incineroar doesn't get rocks, right?
no, it doesn't.
No.
No. Okay.
He has a lot of potential U-turn and Volt switching though. He has
Yeah.
Manaphy, U-turn, Raikou, Volt switch, Incineroar, Noivern, Scizor, Decidueye. So
Incineroar gets you, sure.
yeah,
And he obviously has the Ditto for counter sweep.
yeah.
I mean,
There's that, and Togekiss gets Baton Pass if he needs it.
Yeah.
So.
yeah.
He also has stuff like Pex that can stop. He can haze away anybody who's trying to set up on him too.
I mean, I kind of like that team actually.
I kind of like the
Speed tiers are alright.
yeah.
Same thing here.
I mean, he has Manaphy, which base 100, and Raikou, which I forget what it is, but it's above
115.
110.
115.
115. Yeah.
So it's not too bad
But
there.
and then Noivern, but then outside of that, it really slows down.
Yeah. I think he does it on purpose. Toxapex, I like that he can regenerate, but he doesn't really have a partner to do that with. Like, yes, he can do that with Togekiss to take special hits, but they're both weak to electric, so it's not the best partner like to kind of regenerate with. Incineroar, I guess, because Incineroar takes those psychic type hits for Toxapex, but they're both weak to ground, so I guess it's still good though. He has Decidueye to kind of take on psychic types for Toxapex. Does he have a psychic type himself? I guess he's missing a psychic type, huh?
He does not have one.
Yeah.
So.
he's also, I think, missing a fighting type. So yeah, there's a couple typings he doesn't have, but in the most cases, I don't think he really needs them.
No,
I don't think so. Man.
So
He can have them with the Ditto if anything comes.
I think
so.
I think if he would have swapped the Turtonator for something else, that would have made the team a lot better. I
yeah,
think.
the Turtonator is kind of awkward here, but maybe he knows how to use it. Again, it's not based on the coach's ability to really use the
No.
team they have. I just noticed like something like a Blissey kind of stops his team in its tracks. Obviously he can set up on Blissey, but Blissey it kind of just sits there for a little bit. So
Right.
Yeah.
like unless you Swords Dance in front of it or you trap it, how do you really break the Blissey, right?
Especially something like tier 5, you see like Girder is available, right?
Yeah,
That wouldn't be too
yeah.
bad here.
Yeah.
If you wanted a fighting type, that could work.
It's just like a physical threat kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, a physical wall breaker is always nice to have.
Tier 5, you can't really have threats, but you never know.
Mm-hmm.
There's a few mons down there in tier 5 that are decent though.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
There's a primate. Primate's same
Primate,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You got some decent fighting types.
Do we have Pacinian in tier 5 or is that tier 4?
It's tier 4.
Tier
So
4, yeah.
Okay.
yeah. I mean, he can even keep the Turtonator and maybe switch up Noivern if he wants. He already has the flying typing, so.
Right.
I kind of like Norvern here, to be honest.
Noivern's nice for the speed tier, for sure.
And I can just drop a big old Z Draco on you. Or
that too.
whatever you need, yeah.
He gets Heat Wave, he gets Boom Burst, all that stuff.